My name is Alyssa and I am a firearms instructor, advocate, and competitor. My first real introduction to firearms was actually on me and my now husband's first date. He just bought his first AR-15 and wanted to go shoot it for the first time. So we actually started our firearms journey together, and he ended up actually getting a job in the firearms industry, and he became a small creator influencer for several local companies. Because of that, I was actually able to be surrounded by a lot of knowledgeable people, and I was able to shoot a lot of different guns and just get a lot of experience in a really short amount of time. Through my husband, I had the opportunity to attend multiple training events that he was filming for. At these events, I opted to be a participant as my husband was working. I got to learn from a lot of great instructors like Donovan Moore, Britt Crawley, Philip Vallejo, Mark Achenbach, and Joe Farewell. Because of them, I was able to learn how to be really proficient and comfortable with firearms. I'm the type of person that doesn't really get into something unless I'm already proficient at it, which I know doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I do like to dabble in a lot of things, and then once I get the hang of it, I will go full force into that. So after going through those trainings, I recall Rick Crawley saying, "Shooting is shooting," and something just clicked, and it really simplified the whole concept of shooting. And I was noticing that I could hang with some guys who have been shooting their whole life or have legitimate training through military or law enforcement. That was honestly a huge confidence boost, and more importantly, I didn't feel uncomfortable with the people I was shooting with. And even though I was often one of the only girls training, I didn't feel out of place. People in the industry, especially at a very high level of professionalism, are really welcoming. And I've had the privilege of really getting to the heart of the firearms and tactical community. I thought that was really fun, but then I started to really realize how important owning a firearm was, especially for women. I had a few strange and uncomfortable instances in the apartment complex I was living at the time. My roommates also had multiple interactions that made them feel unsafe, and I realized how important personal protection and situational awareness is. Women, especially small women like me, are physically at a disadvantage when up against most men. And so having a way to defend yourself that really evens the playing field is really important to me. And it's really become a huge part of my life. I'm so glad that I have a way of protecting myself, and I am proficient and comfortable enough to use it without my husband, especially when I'm alone or my husband's out of town. It's so empowering to know that I can defend myself and I really don't need him. And I started going on social media and posting about my experience with firearms just so people could see a different perspective on it. I love helping women, especially through their firearms journey, and just showing them that even though I'm a normal person, I am proficient with firearms and I can hold up my own. I know many women are afraid or scared or just nervous about getting into firearms. I carry every day, and let me tell you, I feel so much more comfortable when I am carrying versus when I'm not. It took me some time to get comfortable with concealed carrying, I'm not gonna lie. Especially since I don't like to wear belts, it took me a little bit of time to figure out what setup I liked best and what worked best for me. One myth that a lot of people believe is that you have to change your wardrobe in order to conceal carry, which is definitely not the case. I love showing beltless carry options to women, and that's one thing that I've really tried to do on my social media. Over the years, I've loved trying new and different options for concealed carrying and being able to share that with other people and other women to show them what's possible. Eventually, I started to become a firearms instructor. Teaching beginners how to shoot a firearm and handle a firearm has been such a rewarding thing that I've done. I feel like so many women are hesitant to get into firearms or to get any sort of training, and so what I've really been trying to do is help other women take that first step and get into firearms, and to be able to come to a female instructor so that they can get knowledge and feel comfortable handling and operating a firearm in a comfortable and relatable setting. It's really what I love to do. I started getting into competitions within the CrossFit and firearms space, so I competed in my first CrossFit competition last year, and I competed in my first tactical games, which is a combination of fitness and shooting, and I competed in that last month, and I actually ended up getting third in my division. Competitive shooting is definitely different than what I've done in the past, but like I said before, shooting is shooting, and it's been great to start to get into that. And there's just something about combining fitness and firearms that is really awesome and I really enjoy. I've always loved to lift heavy and shoot guns, and the combination of those is perfect. When I went shooting for the first time, it took me probably about 15 minutes to pull the trigger the first time. I'm not proud about that, but it just goes to show I wasn't necessarily afraid of firearms, but I definitely wasn't comfortable with them. And it took me a while to get there, but I'm so glad I didn't give up and I kept learning and just taking in more knowledge. But of course, I still have a lot more to learn, and it's always going to be a journey. As I've gone through this journey, it's really evolved from something that was just fun into something that I felt was necessary for me to protect and defend myself, into competition shooting, which again is something just fun that I enjoy, but it's starting to get really competitive, which I love. My whole mission is really to empower women and to show them that they can be strong and independent and they can protect themselves. And what I've really realized is that you don't need a military or LEO background in order to be included and accepted into the firearms community and culture. I really do love that more women are getting into concealed carrying and into the firearms industry. Even just from a couple of years ago, I feel like it's grown so much more, and it's so exciting to see that.